Hi everyone. Today's card, I thought I would do a autumn card. I've got lots of bits going on. I've got some twine. I'm using one of the Papercraft Society kits, and this is the Textures by Lou Collins. And within this kit you get these really pretty leaf note cards. So these do stand alone as cards, but I'm going to chop mine up and do something different with it. So that's what I'm using out of this kit today, and a couple of the background papers. I'm going to be making just a regular A4 piece of card, folded in half, scored down the middle. And then when this is folded, it measures just over 5 3/4 by 8 1/4. So that's my card blank. My first matte layer, I've chosen this beautiful leaf pattern, and this measures just over 5 1/2 by just over 8. Funny measurements, I'm afraid. And then the top piece is 5 1/4 by 7 3/4. And I'm going to choose a sentiment from the Just Saying Thoughtful sentiments. So I'm going to be choosing See the Beauty in Everything. So that's the stamp. The other thing I'm using is some chalk paints by Sentimentally Yours. I'm going to be clear embossing this with a super fine clear embossing powder. I've got some Daubers and my Versamark. So as I said, there's quite a lot going on with this card. So the first thing I'm going to do is take in my leaf, and I might as well cut this nice and straight with my paper trimmer. And this is the one that I'm going to be using, so that can go to one side, and you can do that for another project. Now, taking in my chalky paints, so these again are by Sentimentally Yours, and this first one I'm using is the Indian Sunset. And if you've never used chalky paints before, these are absolutely stunning. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to dip my Dauber into the lid. I'm going to knock off quite a bit of that ink, and I'm just going to dab all over this leaf. And I'm not worrying about white patches. This is all going to be filled in. Actually, it would have been a good idea to put down a piece of paper towel and just get this all over the leaf. And I am going to go down the stem as well. And that's that one for a second. I'm then going to take in, this one's called Rainforest, and this is quite a dark green. I'm going to take in the green Dauber. I'm going to knock off a little bit, and I'm just going to go over the top. Now I'm going to be filling in some of the blank areas, but I'm also going over the Indian Sunset. So just pick up a bit more of that. I need a tiny bit more there. So that was the Rainforest. I'm then going to go in with a lime green, and this is called Lime Crush. And you'll notice I'm only taking the ink from the lid. So I'm going to go in with a Lime Crush And I'm not waiting for the paint to dry in between. I'm just going all over. There we go. So that's the lime crush. And then I might go in with a yellow. So this is the banana split. So with the banana split. Now these chalky paints dry matte and they literally take minutes to dry. So that's that one. And I am going to go back in with the Indian Sunset. So again, just all over. Like a really pretty autumn leaf, well, by the time we've finished. So that's all I want to do to this. So pop my lids back on, and I'm going to give my hands a clean because I've got it everywhere. So there's our autumn leaf. We just need to wait for that to dry completely. So I'm going to pop that to one side, move all this out of the way, and while we're waiting for that to dry, we can put our base card together. And our first matte layer is going to be these beautiful autumn leaves, and this is going to go on with glue. So just run a nice bit of glue all around the edges. And in the middle, get this nicely lined up like so. Turn that over and give that a nice press down from the back. And then this is our next layer, but if you know me, you'll know I don't like white core on my cards. Just going to take in a grey marker pen, and I'm going to go all around the edge. Just to get rid of that white core. Just get a double piece of twine. Like so. And the best way to do this is to take a piece of double-sided tape. I know I want this about 1.5 inches in from the edge. Pop a piece top and bottom. And we can remove that top one. Place a twine on the back there. Bring this across. Just like so. So just take the backing off of that one as well. Just bring this across the back. There we go, and then I can cut away these tiny bits. So we've added another layer of interest to this layer. And this one I thought I would put up with foam tape. So just run a nice line of foam tape all around the edges. few bits in the middle. And give those a really nice burnish down. So as always with my cards, remove those outer backings halfway. And we can remove those center ones completely. There we go. Now there's no pattern on this, but I know I want my twine to be on the left hand side. So I'm going to get the same amount of border, top, bottom. I'm just going to let that fall. And then I can remove these backing tapes. Turn that over and give that a really, really nice press down. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Now if I take in my leaf, which is now completely dry, I'm going to take in another piece of kitchen roll. And I'm going to take in the Versamark clear ink pad, and I'm going to take in a sponge, and I'm going to get some clear ink on my sponge, and I'm just going to go all over the leaf. Now I most probably could take the pad to the leaf, but my pad's dirty enough as it is without getting colour on it. Doesn't matter if you don't cover it completely. We're just aiming for a glossy wet look. We're taking a piece of copy paper and some clear embossing powder, and I'm just gonna let this fall. Now covered. I'm going to pop this straight back in the jar. So with the heat gun on number 2, and we're just going to heat up this embossing powder. I'm going to hold that. So just hold this over the leaf. And wait for that to start to melt. There we go. And then we can follow that all the way around. How beautiful is that leaf? So I need to let that cool down for a couple of seconds because we don't want fingerprints on that one. I'm going to take back in my card. Can you see that it's got quite a nice wet look to it? Obviously now we've got a little bit of warping going on, so I'm just going to give that a tiny shape with my bone folder. And I thought we would have this leaf just coming off of the card like so. And I am going to put this up with glue gel. Pop some nice blobs of glue gel all over the back. And we need some height to go over the twine. does seem quite a lot of glue gel, but it is worth it. Make sure you get it in the middle. I'm not worrying about the stem. Bit down there, just a tiny bit over there, and I think that's probably enough. And this is where I now see if I'm any good with tweezers. But I'm gonna have this right up to the edge of the second layer. Just gonna give that a tiny press down for that glue gel to grab. And now all I need to do is my sentiment. So as I said, I've chosen See the Beauty in Everything in a stamping block. Gonna line that up, the word beauty, make sure I get that nice and straight. I'm just gonna stamp this in the VersaFine Onyx Black. And I'm gonna stamp that just there. There you go. And then what I thought I would do is fussy cut this into a tiny square. I'm going to take in the Indian Sunset brush, and basically just what is left on the brush, I'm going to go around the edge of this sentiment, and that will take literally seconds to dry. I'm going to take my pokey tool and right on the corner, just be careful that you don't poke yourself. I'm just going to pop a hole in that corner and push this through. Anybody else do that? Especially when you're threading a needle. And this is just gonna tie there we go, and just tie that quite tightly across one of the strips of twine, and then I would cut these down. And then what I thought I would do is add a few random gems. So this is the Sherbet Sunrise gems, and as you can see, they're multicolored. So these are going to fit in quite nicely with the leaf. So I thought I'm going to have one down in this corner, one in there, two, have one there, three, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see how we get on with those. And I'm going to pop a small one there, but I'm gonna add a big one up there, another small one just there. So we've got a big one there. I think we could possibly have another big one without all the hair. So pop another big one down there. Tiny one in that space. Pop a small one there. A small one there and a small one there. I've embossed this piece of card behind it would have looked completely different again. Now these gems again are by Sentimentally Yours, and as I said, they're the Sherbert Sunrise. I actually quite like the simplicity of that card. So there we go, all about the leaf. I hope you enjoyed my little video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and until the next time, bye for now.